Starting off with a small demo. We start in. Down here you can see exactly what it's doing, and up here is a little decision tree to showcase the different changes. When you go in the view, the music changes and he chases you. And if you kill him, back to the start and start over. Same way as he can get me. Go back to the start and start over. And then let's wait till he patrols. Up here you can see the change as soon as he goes to patrol. And he'll decide each time he hits one of these points. And here is my code. We're going to start in our scene script because that is the simplest. We use it for button press for swapping scenes, as seen here, and really that is all we do. I had this originally for the sound manager, but decided to implement adding sounds a different way, as will be seen soon. And here we have our pretty simple sound manager. I'm sure everyone here has seen a sound manager in work, but as just a quick explanation, we have our play music, our play sound effects, and our stop music. In both our play music and play sound effects, we have audio clip equals resources.load so that I don't have to initialize each sound upon start, and I can just initialize them when I go to play them. In our player script, we, for starters, have a rigid body. We move via rigid body and via get access raw using WASD. And then we call rotate towards move, where we will rotate in the direction we are going if we are going fast enough. And we use rigid body and A10-2. I had to make sure that I offset it by 90 degrees because originally it wasn't pointing directly how I wanted it to. On trigger enter is to decide what music plays when and if the player is in view and if it's been hit. So in view if it hits the scene collider, and we change scenes to either the defeat scene or the victory scene based off of our enemy scripts get view, which will be seen soon. It's pretty simple. And then on trigger exit is used almost entirely just for when we get out of view, and the music changes back to like not a rushed music. Pathfinding is pretty simple too. We really only have 3 things in here. 2 types of projections, projection and scalar projection. These are used to help the enemy patrol in a smooth way along its lines, but it also uses seeking for both patrolling and following the player, which is just used with a bunch of different velocities and the same rotate mechanic as the player. Okay, in our enemy script for starting off, this is just all our things that we need, our counters, objects, images. We start in state 2, which is our idle scene, and then in our update is just our very quick state machine like change, very simple, and then whenever the state changes, a little sound plays. In our patrolling state, we just have things that change our visible state machine and text so that we know what state the enemy is in, and following along the points using projection and seeking, as well as using modulus so that we don't go above the waypoint's array length. State change is just a random number generated to decide whether we are going to be patrolling or idling. It will only play each one 3 times in a row. If it goes over 3 times in a row or is equal to 3, then we change to the other one. Move to player, again, changing the state and text, and then seeking the player. Last run is used basically just when you exit the enemy's view. It'll chase you for about a second or 2 before it starts patrolling or idling again. And our idle scene, again with this, state change so that we know. we stop moving, and every 1 second we will randomly rotate between -40 and 40 degrees to look around. This state goes on for about 4 seconds before it runs state change again. These three functions, in view, out of view, and get view, are specifically for the player script to be able to access and change whether the enemy script knows that we're in view, and get view just tells the player script whether we are in view or not for when it collides with the enemy. Text preset just sets all of the state machine text and like state change in-game to white every time a state changes, so that none of the text ends up being a color we don't need it to be. And yeah, that is the overall of all of my scripts. They're all pretty simple.